how to bring back your creativity. And why do I say back to creativity is because whether you're an artist that used to feel more creative and now maybe there's a creative block or something, or even if you don't consider yourself to be a creative person, I would still say that there was a time, and there has been times in our lives that we have been creative. We have been in touch with our creativity. Even if you just think about when you were a little child, or if you look at kids, how they are so curious about everything and just like looking at things, asking questions, and just being so curious about everything and just being so into all kinds of things, and then just naturally creating things, and like how they're just saying sometimes interesting sentences, how they're telling stories, how they're drawing pictures, how the type of games they make with their toys or whatever, sticks or whatever, when you give something to little kids, they can just come up with something so naturally. And that's the thing, creativity is very natural to us humans. And so there was a time when we felt more creative, but for some reason, I would say mainly for reasons that, how our system is made, that we are trained to be very logical. And you may know that we have like these two brain sides, the logical and the creative, or you can say masculine and feminine. And we have been trained a big part of our life to pursue the logical things, which is analyzing things so that we can have success, take care of our finances, of our survival things, and be, better and better and better and better than everyone else. And a lot of how we have been conditioned to be is logical, to be logical and to make sense. And that's fine. But the other half, which is the creative, the more like flowy kind of way how we humans can be, is more juicy. So with the logical thinking, we can analyze things, come up with things, make sense of things, make plans and structures and all these things, which is good, important. And the creative side is more about like feeling, flowing, sensing life in a different way, more alive way. It's kind of like the logical side thinks about life, analyzes life, dissects life, and the creative side or the other side is feeling life, being very sensitive to life and adventurous with life. So you could say that when there's too much of this logical thinking, it becomes overthinking. And then that overthinking, it's like it overshadows the other side, the creative side, the side where we can feel and feel alive, and where creativity feels natural and exciting, and there's adventure and so on. And of course there are many ways how this can be brought into our lives, that kind of like that the creative and the logical is in balance, that we have the access to both equally. There are many ways how we can do that. And here I want to give you 3 tools that I think are very important for creativity. They're like tools that are already within us, and we can sharpen them, and then this side starts opening to us. Hang on, let me just fix this. Okay, the sun is kind of setting there, and then soon I will have this shadow on my face. Let's just see how it goes. So the 3 tools are attention, imagination, and expression. Let's talk about attention first. So the thing is that when our attention is sharp, we feel more alive. And the other way around, when something happens in our life that we maybe really like and we feel really alive because of that, in that moment also our attention is sharper. It's more alive. We notice more things. We notice more subtle things and so on. We notice beauty around us. Maybe like we're watching a sunset right now. It's like, whoa, beautiful sunset. And just like, wow, look at the colors. And maybe there's no thoughts maybe at all in that moment, when there's like this moment of wow, looking at the mountains and the ocean, whoa. So when there's more attention and we feel more alive, just more here, just more aware of our surroundings, more aware of what's happening in our body, in our mind, in our emotions. That's when the doors to new ideas open. That's when there are less distracting thoughts. When we pay attention, we also start learning when there's something intuitive, an intuitive pull to choose maybe some option that just somehow just feels right without maybe logical explanation. So through attention, we also start learning how intuition feels in our body. And of course, when we have longer attention span, it's easier to focus on projects calmly without trying to rush to them. Because really, the magic of creating something really happens in the process of creating that, not trying to rush to the end. Because if we can really be attentive to the process, it feels fun, it feels alive, and then the quality of that also grows, the quality of the end product. So the light will keep changing a little bit through this video, don't worry about that. It's just only time I had time to make this video is the sunset, which is the most unpredictable time for light to film anything. Oh, oops. Are you paying attention even though I talk about other strange things in the midst of this tutorial? And one thing also about attention is that whatever we pay attention to in our lives, whatever we are surrounded by, whatever we consume, through social media, films, we walk in the city, whatever we see, there's so many things we can't really control, but we are like consuming all the time things. And then, of course, things that we choose to consume, look at, and listen to, and so on. It's like our mind will then automatically start bringing those things in our mind and into our dreams as well. And so paying attention to, like consciously really starting to pay attention to different things like textures on things and light and shadows and music or sounds, how they sound, what do they sound like? Not necessarily analyzing it like with words, but like simply listening, simply seeing, simply paying attention to different things. And that feeds our imagination, which is the next tool. But before the next tool, I'll give you a short practice for attention. There's many practices, but I want to give you one short practice that you can do anywhere. So in this practice, wherever you are, you can do this. Throughout the day, you can do this as many times as you want. This will help you also lengthen your attention span. This will help you with your ability to be attentive, to focus. So it's very simple. It goes like this. Wherever you are, pick some spot or some speck on the wall or some corner of some furniture or whatever, some spot, and it doesn't have to be interesting, and you just place your attention to that. You just look at that and don't try to focus too hard, don't try to force anything. You just place your attention there and gradually, as if just allowing your attention to grow and let your attention to gather into that spot effortlessly. And as you're just allowing this to happen, gradually it's like nothing outside of that spot exists. As if that spot right now in this moment is the most important thing. And when something is the most important thing, very effortlessly your attention can be there. And then when the mind starts saying things like, this is boring, am I doing this right, and so on, then when you notice that your mind is going there, then again go back to that spot. Just gently bring your attention back to that spot. And if you were doing this now with me, you can continue or not continue, whatever you want. You can do this for 30 seconds, for 1 minute, for 2 minutes, whatever length of time you want or can do. Maybe you can increase the time every day with 30 seconds, or however it feels natural. And when you do this more and more, it will make you feel more clear, and that it's just suddenly easier to pay attention to things. The second creative tool is imagination. Imagination, I feel, is important in creativity because it helps you to visualize, see, hear, somehow see new ideas in your mind, in some way at least, whether they are hazy or very clear in your mind. You can have an idea of something before it exists. So you can really hear something, whether it's a melody or have some kind of idea of something. Maybe it's a painting or a photograph or a writing, a poem or a novel, something that you can kind of start seeing in your mind before it exists, because that then helps to bring it alive and create it. Even if it wouldn't be exactly the same how you see it in the mind, but at least some type of starting position, it can give you this idea. And when this imagination start getting more active within you, then you might just start getting ideas, or you might getting dreams where you get an idea or see something or hear something, and then when you wake up you can create that. Or just during the day you might suddenly see something or hear something in your mind, and that can give you this creative spark to create something. It can happen in many different ways, and I think it's very unique also to different people. And imagination is not something that we force. It's so subtle. It's such a subtle aspect of our awareness, or at least more subtle than how we are used to being, thinking and paying attention to whatever is very material and logical again, But imagination is more subtle. When we are very overly logical, it can be just it's just imagination, it's not important, and just brush it off. It can be very, very powerful and helpful and positive, in creative new things. Whether it's art or even some type of a new technology. If you can have an amazing idea through your imagination or through your dreams. There are many scientists that have had some type of a dream that helped them to create something that then changed the world. And attention helps imagination, Like I said, that paying more attention to just different things, then when we have paid more attention to different things within, or around us and within us, then when we start imagining, it's easier to have more sharp visions of things or ideas. For example, daydreaming is a great practice for imagination. Maybe you could imagine your dream house, brick by brick, really paying attention to all the details. How does it feel to be there? What kind of grass, what type of plants, what type of doors, what type of walls, what type of everything, the furniture, interior, everything. Go little by little, do this daily. You can build the whole place. And first it might be hazy to think about that, to visualize that, but it helps if we start paying attention in our normal life to things, how they are, and really paying attention, because then it's easier to imagine things when we pay more attention. It's kind of for example, a visual artist who is doing something about nature, whether it's painter or visual artist, digital artist. They might look at the shapes of the clouds and the textures in the clouds and the sky and the water and the reflections, and study the nature, and then they would their minds would start understanding how they should look like. Of course, it needs the technical skill as well, but still it's very important to study the natural world for an artist like that. So yeah, daydreaming is a good practice, but also journaling dreams or writing your dreams down. And many of us don't have, or we don't remember our dreams, but sometimes we remember even something a little bit. And when you remember something, even one word, one feeling, how it felt, even something, write it down to your phone or notebook or paper or something. And when you start doing this frequently, one thing that will happen, you start connecting your memory to another state of awareness. Because when we are having dreams, we are in a different state of awareness, and it's also like a different state of memory. And it's like sometimes when we are in the dream and we see some places or have some dreams, in that dream we remember that, oh, I remember this place. And then when we wake up, we don't remember that dream, but maybe we feel that I had a dream where it felt familiar, but I don't remember. Because it's like you might have had many dreams about that, and you remembered that in the dream because you have kind of like this dream memory state. But now when you are in a different state of awareness, when you're awake, you don't remember that. But when you start writing down your dreams, you start connecting those two levels. And what will happen after some days, weeks, you start remembering more of your dreams. And that dream level is more like this imagination level. And I did this practice when I want to learn lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming means that you have a dream and you wake up in the dream. Like, you don't actually wake up, but in the dream you realize that this is a dream. And then when you wake up in your dream like that, you can start doing anything with the dream. You can create worlds, you can start flying, you can do anything you want, and it feels very real. So I wanted to learn that, and one of the practices I was doing was writing down my dreams, and it worked. So I started having these lucid dreams more. But also what happened was that I started remembering my dreams, and also that in my daily life my imagination just woke up. Like when I would have some idea of some photograph or digital art, something I could create in Photoshop as a digital artist, those like images would just come into my mind. And also in my dreams, like I would get ideas, and I was like, wow, that's a good idea. Like I don't know where that came from, but okay, let's do that. And things start coming on its own without effort. Suddenly it just pops in the mind. So this is what imagination is amazing for. So yeah, try that. Start writing down dreams, any word, even a little bit, whatever you remember of your dreams. The third creative tool, I would say, is expression. Of course, we have to express our creativity. And this can be in many ways, whether you're creating art, whether you're singing, or just moving your hand in a creative way. Creative just means that you are being yourself without holding back. Or you're being a parent, you're being a husband or wife, or you're just being with your partner or a friend. Anything. You can be creative in any part in life. It just means that you are not overthinking what you are doing. You're just letting life happen through you in a way that just feels real to you when you're not holding back. It's flowing. You might have heard a flow state. You can live in a flow state where you're just doing things what now has to be done in a way that not right now feels real. And we have responsibilities, but still when there's something we have to do, even if we don't want to, then still just accepting that moment and doing that in a way that we accept that this is what has to be done right now, and this just has to happen through me. We are all unique, and we can create in such beautiful, unique ways if we just allow ourselves to do that. And even if you're thinking like, well, I'm allowing myself to be unique, but maybe there's like in the past, maybe like in the teenage years, maybe in younger years, maybe older years, whatever time. Usually there has been some times when we tried to fit in. And then we also maybe tried to be unique. But neither is necessary, because we are already very unique. And it's just to allow, like really listen what is here that feels real to me, and then allowing that to come out. And that is hard. It's hard. It's a gradual process to open that. And I think we can keep opening that, forever, more and more. And it's a beautiful process to keep learning what feels true to me today, because we will change always. Human beings are not static. We are not meant to be just like survival and enjoyment. It's more. We can keep changing. We can keep changing our identity. We can keep learning more who we are, what feels right today, what wants to come through me today. Maybe something wants to be created to me today, and being more curious about that, and not having shame or judgment about that. And it's very easy to block our expression because of fear of judgment, fear of being seen, or fear of being not seen. And there's many ways how we can block our expression. And of course there's many ways we express. Like really whatever we do in life is, in a way, it's expressing all the actions, all the activities. But voice is like a very direct way, and how identified we are with our voice. And it can feel so naked to let our voice come through sometimes, or let even record our voice and listen back. It can feel like, it's like there's something there that we feel like, that's like something there is just so raw, so naked. It's like, I don't want to show that to anyone. And I think that part of that is that we are so identified to our own judgments and to our own ways of blocking ourselves of expressing freely. So for example, if we are holding back in some ways, even unconsciously, then that will also kind of be heard in our voice, and we ourselves hear it the best. And when we listen to it back, our voice, even if we hear our voice recorded, and then we hear that, it's like somehow it's like thrown to our face that there's something like holding back, and it's like the sound is like a so like hold back. I don't know what other word to use. Stiff. And I think because the voice is so personal to us and it's so linked to expression, that's one great way to work on expression, free expression, authentic expression, when we do things with our voice. So maybe you could just hum without really any melody that you can just freely hum something. It doesn't have to be beautiful, it can be just strange or funny or whatever. Just let it come out. Or you can make sounds, sing, just gibberish words, whatever sounds. Just let it out, anything. Maybe you want to do it first when you are alone, if you're not comfortable doing it with others around. My family knows that I'm a weirdo. I do all kinds of sounds throughout the day sometimes, and it's okay. As long as it doesn't bother anyone, it's fine for me. There was a time when I was the most shy person in the world, but these are identities that are not truly us, so we can keep growing and overcoming them and unlearning them and discovering what is really here before those identities and filters. So when you're doing any kinds of sounds, notice how it feels in your body. Notice when there's some tension, when there's holding back, how it feels. Maybe the mind comes and says that, oh, that's awkward, oh, that didn't sound good. What will the neighbor think about me? all kinds of things that the mind says. And well, if you are bothering someone, you could just, put a pillow on your mouth or something and then let sounds come, because even the feeling of letting sound come freely is helpful. But when you notice that there are some type of maybe judgment or holding back something within you, try to notice also where in the body it is. Is it in the neck? Is it in the chest, stomach? Where is it? That's also important. Then if you notice where it is, pause and kind of relax that area. There's no reason to get stiff here. Just relax. It's all good. It's good. No one is judging you, and you don't need to judge yourself. Sometimes when you notice where in your body the tension is, you can start exploring if you can make sounds that kind of vibrates on that area, while at the same time you're like releasing tension in that area. I'll make a video of me making sounds tomorrow because my son is sleeping and I can't do it now. Don't think about how it sounds. It's okay if it's funny or doesn't sound beautiful. It's okay. And feel if there's some tension in your neck especially, and also anywhere else. Feel the body connection, how it feels in your body. Don't worry about being silly. It's okay. We are all silly. Every human is silly inside. Maybe you want to walk around in your house while you're doing this. Lonely time. Laughter is good, very good too. You should be able to laugh at yourself. It's very good to laugh at yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously. That's also important for expression and allowing that natural expression to come true. Alright, that's my 3 tools for creativity. Hope it helped you. Keep doing this consistently. Many of these you can do wherever you want. The expression part, well, maybe you could visualize yourself expressing if you are in the public, like making strange noises, or you can just hum. And like really paying attention that when you notice that you're holding back, then like pay attention to that feeling of holding back and allow it to soften. So you can do all these 3 things anywhere, anytime, really. So try out these practices, do these consistently, and these are the types of things that I will be talking about on this channel. And I'm also building something that I don't know if I have the permission to tell you yet, so I'm not gonna tell you. But it will be something that will help you even more with staying consistent in these types of practices, to really bring that creativity back again and start feeling that aliveness again. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you yet, so it will be a little cliffhanger for you. But yeah, stay tuned.